Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of You and Me and Multiple Sclerosis. My name is Pam, and I've been living with multiple sclerosis for nearly 37 years. And while I'm not a medical professional of any kind, I think 37 years of experience allows me to think of myself as something of an expert. Well, today I'm going to talk about something that I've been kind of putting off because I don't really consider myself an expert in this at all, and that is exercise. Exercise. Ugh. I had come to think of exercise as something in the past tense. I used to be more active. My husband and I used to go for long walks in all kinds of terrain. We even did the Portland Marathon not too many years ago, and that's what, 26 miles? And all that was well within my capability, but now, no way. So exercise seems like something that is no longer in my reach. If I asked Dr. Aaron Boster what he thought of that idea of MS and exercise, I wonder what he'd say.
Let's face it, in order to live your best life despite having MS, you have to exercise as part of your lifestyle.
Well, okay, I guess you heard it from the expert. That is a great video, by the way. It's very motivational. He doesn't give us details on what to do, but he tells us why, and I think that's mostly what I needed. Well, I realize I've been kind of in a funk lately with that weird fatigue thing that I was having, and my dog passing away and that sort of thing. But you know what? It's almost the beginning of a new year, and while I'm not big on New Year's resolutions as such, it seems like a good time to get out of my rut and start thinking about taking care of myself. So let's go ahead and talk about exercise. And in honor of talking about exercise, I am not drinking tea today. I am drinking water, because one of the things Dr. Boster talks about a lot is upping your water game and drinking as much water as you can. So I start every day with a tall glass of water before I have coffee or anything else. And of course, that doesn't get me a pass on all the other aspects of fitness, does it? I guess I better get looking into that. Well, in Dr. Boster's video, he names 4 different types of exercise that are important. And that makes sense, right? You don't want to build up one part of your body at the expense of the rest of it. So you do need to balance the kinds of exercise that you're doing. Here are the different kinds that he talks about. He talks about core strength, so increasing the strength of your core, your chest, your abdomen, your back. He talks about flexibility. He talks about cardio. He talks about cardio and endurance. And then he talks about balance. So I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to design myself an exercise regimen, I will have to think about all 4 of those. Fortunately, we live in a time when you can find just about anything you want out on the internet as far as knowledge or information or points of view or whatever. So I knew that I would be able to go out on the internet and find all kinds of information about the different kinds of exercise. And so I did, and I will share with you some of the things that I found. And all of the URLs for these videos that I will be showing you clips from will be in the description box below. I also want to make a little bit of a disclaimer. Part of the reason why I was reluctant to do this particular topic was that I realized that everyone's MS is different. So it's really not easy to pinpoint one set of exercises that's right for everyone. So today what I'll do is show you some different examples of what's available out there on the internet. And you can certainly spend hours and hours researching it yourself, and I advise you to do some of that. But I do caution you that you can spend so much time researching it, you don't leave yourself any time to actually do it. So with that said, when we look at core strength exercises, the video clip I want to play for you he's not really going to be telling you about how to do a particular exercise, But he has a very interesting and important take on the whole idea of posture as a prerequisite for exercise. His particular audience is people who have MS who are in wheelchairs, but I think this also would be applicable to anyone who has more of a sedentary lifestyle.
So we are sitting up nice and tall. When we're in a chair for an extended period of time, what happens? Just because of gravity and because we're sitting, our bodies start to slump, our heads start to fall forward, our shoulders start to fall forward, and like I talked about on Monday, we get really tight in our diaphragm, really tight in our pectoral girdle. We start to roll forward like this. So even if you wanted to stand up out of a chair and walk, your body's like this. How are you ever going to stand up if you don't know how to actually stand up and sit right, okay?
So that was Coach Trevor from the MS Gym. Well, the next area that Dr. Boster mentions is flexibility. And I got to looking at different videos about that. There's some very good ones specific to MS, but I also realized something. In a video that I did recently, I talked about Dr. Gavin Giovannoni and his ideas about MS. One of which is that MS is kind of an accelerated aging in a way. So I thought to myself, well, why limit myself to videos specific to MS? I could be looking at videos that are targeted at exercises for the elderly. And I guess since I'm going to be 62 here in a little while, I'm almost in that category anyway. I stumbled upon the website of Bob and Brad, and they advertise themselves as being the two most famous physical therapists on the internet. And of course, they're quick to say, in our own opinion. But you know, they probably do have a fairly good claim to that because they've been on YouTube since 2011, and their viewership at this point is over 392 million. They're also older guys. The one is my age, and the other is probably around that same age. So it makes me feel better knowing that the people that are giving me advice on how to exercise are not 20-somethings who are as limber as Gumby. Just, I don't know. I can't relate to that. I'll play a couple of clips from one of their videos that I will link down below that I thought had some good ideas for exercising for people who do spend a lot of time during the day sitting at their desk like I do.
Now, this one, edge of the chair, good posture as tall as you can
this
get.
This is really critical that you are in good posture. We don't want you bent over and doing rotations.
Right.
That's actually going to be kind of maybe not harmful for your back, but not good for your back.
Right, and you won't get as far either.
Right.
So as tall as you are able to get, and then you can use the armrests on the chair. That's helpful. You can reach back here. Try and keep your pelvis straight ahead, and then you look behind you and shoulders rotate. Hold and relax. Hold and relax. Do that 5 to 10 times and make sure you go both directions. If it happens to create pain or any sharp pain, you don't want to do it. You may want to start really gently, and over time, you'll get that range of motion.
My back just cracked, Brad.
You got a nice crack, huh?
There we go.
Excellent. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start out with exercises. Now, you can do these exercises in bed if you feel like you can get down on the floor. On a carpeted floor would be fine, but on bed is just fine. We're going to start with floor angels.
Gotcha.
Now, there's a couple options. You can just simply lay on your back. We'll get to the towel roll in just a second. Here, and you're going to put your hands up. Do you want to show them how it would look?
Yeah. Okay.
So, looking from the top down, I'd look like this. And here you can simply go up and down, and you're trying to keep your elbows on the bed or the floor.
So they're not forward like this. You're trying to keep the elbows back and slide along the bed or floor. So that's really promoting that you're getting a stretch and you're in really good posture when you're doing this. And your neck is back, so obviously that's in good posture too.
Well, thank you, Bob and Brad. They're always a lot of fun. Well, then the next category, cardio, that is my least favorite category. When I exercise and get my heart rate up, I don't feel very well. I just don't like how I feel, and I try to avoid that. But I realize, too, that I have to work at that slowly and build toward it. I use my stepper every day, every morning. I've been doing that for oh, I don't know, more than 2 years at this point. I don't know how long ago I started, but I have done 100 steps in the morning. And I've thought, okay, well, maybe I should start trying to slowly increase that. And I do mean slowly, not pushing myself to the point where I feel terrible, because that's no way to start your day, feeling terrible. There is a fellow MS YouTuber. He's called the MS Guide. And his idea of a good time is this. And that is not my idea of a good time. It's cardio, all right. But for me, the cardio would not come from the exertion, but from the terror and fear for my life. So my hat is off to him, and I think it's wonderful that he's doing that. But I don't foresee myself ever wanting to do that. So on the subject of balance, I think that is so important for us. As we progress in our MS journey, most of us start to feel a little less steady on our feet. And according to Professor G's idea that MS in some way mimics aging, or it's sort of a form of accelerated aging, we know that as you get older, you become more unsteady on your feet. So thinking about that, what kinds of things can we do to prevent that, or at least to forestall it as long as possible? Well, I have a clip here from a video from the MS Society that I'll share with you, because I think it does do a good job of giving us some ideas on how to maintain balance and stability as long as we possibly can. I like this one in particular because it talks about how you get up from the floor. And I think that's a really good idea, whether you fell there or whether you got down on purpose to get something, or to, look at what your pots and pans on the bottom shelf or whatever. How do you get back up again?
So the next one is the kneel to stand. Now, because I'm going to need you to turn around, Sammy is just chilling out for this exercise, but we're going to use a chair if we need it. And the idea is to start off kneeling, and then we come up onto one leg and we stand all the way up, and then with the same leg going back down, we drop to the knee. So if you need support, we can hold onto a chair or anything, could be a sofa, step up and then bring that knee back down, okay? So the first time we're focusing on our right leg, we're gonna go up, lead with the right, stand up fully, step back down with the right first.
Okay, I have shared with you some resources that I've found on the internet, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot there and many other good ones. But here's one last thing I really want to show you, because if you're like me and you just can't decide, and no one video seems to capture everything that you want, or you don't want to have to do certain things. See, because here's my problem. I'm pretty picky about exercise. I'm not really that fond of it. So I made a list of my criteria, and I will read them to you. Number one, I don't want to have to spend a lot of money on fancy equipment, including footwear or yoga mats or anything else. If I can't do it using stuff I have around the house, it's really kind of a turnoff for me, because why start spending money before you even know whether the thing is going to work for you, right? Another one is I get really turned off when I see that the people involved in the videos look really fit and as if they never had MS a day in their lives. It just doesn't feel to me like they really have enough empathy. I don't know. I want to see people more like me. That's kind of why I like Bob and Brad, because they're older and I just feel more like I can identify with them. Now, it's not to say that you feel the same way, but I'm just telling you that's kind of how I feel. And another one is that I don't like exercises where I have to be on the floor. I'm just not fond of being on the floor. And it doesn't matter whether the floor is clean or, I've just vacuumed, or even if there's a mat down. I just don't enjoy being on the floor. There are some that tell you can do the thing in bed, and that's great. And then finally, and this is just my personal preference, videos that go on for too long. Like if I see it's a 45-minute video about balance in MS, I am not going to sit there for 45 minutes and then decide whether that was worth my time or not. So I like them to be a little bit shorter, or at the very least to have kind of a table of contents or some way that you know when things are going to be discussed, so you can jump right to the part that you want. So with all of that in mind, I was really interested to find this website, which I'll show you. Yeah, I came across this site from the Multiple Sclerosis Trust. Build your own exercise routine. And this really looks like it's exactly what I want. So you can scroll down here and look at all these categories. They've got stretching exercises, strength exercises, standing, sitting, posture, pelvic control, lying, kneeling, core stability, breathing exercises, balance, arm and hand exercises. So under each of these categories, if you click on the link there, then you can scroll down and you can see all of these little diagrams of how you do it, and you can download the exercises in one PDF. So if you're wanting to do exercises like learning how to balance with your feet together, the heel to toe, as you can see, you know, there's a lot of good simple exercises with very good diagrams. And I think it is probably a very useful thing for us to go out and build our own, because no two people have the same needs or the same preferences. And as they say, the only good exercise is the one that you're really going to do, right? Yeah. One final thing I want to leave you with is something from the webpage that I was looking at from the Cleveland Clinic. It's a disclaimer. It's a disclaimer that I think we all need to heed. Before we do any exercising, we need to consult with our doctor. We need to exercise within our limits. Don't go trying to, do the old no pain, no gain thing, because that doesn't work. And if you feel faint, dizzy, or in pain, you need to stop, and then finally be advised that by participating in any kind of exercising, you are assuming all risk of injury. I think that's specific to their thing. But be advised that, right? And whenever you do get hurt, you may or may not have anyone but yourself to blame. But I think those are good reminders. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I would love to know in the comments if this was the kind of information that was helpful, if there were other kinds of exercises that you were interested in, if you think I should stop doing videos on subjects I don't know very much about. But in any event, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to all of you. And I don't know that I'll see you again until 2022. But take care and have a wonderful day.